The US provided Canada with intelligence after the killing of 6 separatists, Hardeep Singh Nijjar, but communications intercepted by Urva were more definite and led to accuse India of orchestrating the plot. The New York Times has reported citing sources. The report came on Saturday as the top US diplomat in Canada confirmed that there was shared intelligence among Five Eyes partners that had prompted Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's offensive allegation against India in the killing of a Khalisani extremist on Canadian soil. The allegations have infuriated India, which rejected the allegations as absurd and motivated and expelled a Canadian diplomat in a tit-for-tat move to Urva's expulsion of an Indian official over the case. India also accused Canada of being a safe haven for terrorists. Nijjar, the chief of the banned Khalistan Tiger Force (KTF), was killed in Surrey in British Columbia on June 18. India had designated Nijjar as a terrorist in 2020. The United States has urged India to cooperate with Canada in its investigation. In the aftermath of the killing, US intelligence agencies offered their Canadian counterparts context that helped Canada conclude that India had been involved. The New York Times reported, quoting unnamed allied officials as saying, "Yet what appears to be the smoking gun intercepted communications of Indian diplomats in Canada indicating involvement in the plot was gathered by Canadian officials," allied officials said. David Cohen, US ambassador to Canada, in an interview with CTV News, said that shared intelligence among Five Eyes partners had informed Trudeau of the possible involvement of Indian agents in the murder of a Canadian citizen in June. Cohen told CTV News that, "I will say this was a matter of shared intelligence information. There was a lot of communication between Canada and the United States about this, and I think that's as far as I'm comfortable going." After Nijjar's death, American officials told their Canadian counterparts that Washington had not had any advance information about the plot, and if that US officials had, they would have immediately informed Urva under the intelligence agency's duty to warn doctrine, according to 2 allied officials, the newspaper reported. The officials, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss what has become a diplomatic firestorm, said Canadian officials had offered a general warning to Nijjar but had not told him that he was target of an Indian government plot, according to the report. Cohen told CTV that the US takes very seriously these allegations, and if they prove to be true, it is a potentially very serious breach of the rules-based international order in which we like to function, he said in a response to a question. While Secretary of State Antony Blinken has called on India to cooperate with the Canadian investigation, American officials have largely tried to avoid triggering any diplomatic blowback from India, the paper said. But the disclosure of the involvement of US intelligence risks ensnaring Washington in the diplomatic battle between Canada and India at a time when it is keen to develop New Delhi as a closer partner, it said. Blinken said the US is deeply concerned about the allegations raised by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau against India, and Washington was closely coordinating with Urva on the issue and wants to see accountability in the case. Speaking at a news conference in New York on Friday, Blinken said the US had engaged directly with the Indian government on the issue, and the most productive thing would be the completion of this investigation. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Thanks, Ian. Let me say a few things about this. First, we are deeply concerned about the allegations that Prime Minister Trudeau has raised. We have been consulting throughout very closely with our Canadian colleagues, and not just consulting, coordinating with them on this issue. From our perspective, it is critical that the Canadian investigation proceed, and it would be important that India work with the Canadians on this investigation. We want to see accountability, and it's important that the investigation run its course and lead to that result. I'm not going to characterize or otherwise speak to diplomatic conversations that we've been engaged directly with the Indian government as well. And again, I think the most productive thing that can happen now is to see this investigation move forward, be completed, and we would hope that our Indian friends would cooperate with that investigation as well. More broadly, and you've heard me speak to this, we are extremely vigilant about any instances of alleged transnational repression, something we take very, very seriously. And I think it's important more broadly for the international system that any country that might consider engaging in such acts not do so. So it's something that we're also focused on in a much broader way.